Okay, without further ado, let's go into our last slide, which is going through sectorial indicator. Let me just see. Okay. So as usual, those highlighted in greens are those that I believe we can look for opportunities. Yellow is there's opportunity, but subjected to some condition. Okay, so let's go through some of the key ones and then some of the more favorable setup. Let's start with Jets. Okay, Jets essentially order flow breakout. I've been calling this since last week. For those of you that missed out, I don't know what you guys want. Okay, like it's literally like money dropping from the sky at this point. Okay, called for Jets since last week. So let's take a look at some of the Jet stocks we still can look to long. Which personally I don't think there is many, or maybe some LUV here. Yeah, so there's an order flow breakout here. Personally, I might want to look for long once price pull back to this. Yeah, I think this is what's the setting again? 15 and 20 EMA. Okay. So on the daily time frame, by the way. But if you look at the other airline stocks like Dell, AAL, they have already rallied until they don't want to rally. So I don't know, man. Yes, I do think that there's more upside for airlines, but realistically, there's not much to long. Next, let's take a look at XLY. XLY just make a order flow breakout from this from this consolidation here. I do think that definitely can go up to break all-time high. So let's take a look at some of the XLY stocks. TJX. Personally, you can look for longs for this stock already. If you guys are interested, go down to the lower time frame, right? Look for potentially some reversal pattern. Let me just take a look at the 5 minute. Let's see what I can find. Not super nice, honestly. But for those of you that can time the market, TJX is potentially a play for longs. Okay, next, let's take a look at Starbucks. Personally, I took a long here, rallied up till this point, I think. It rallied, then I broke even. And yeah, it just tapped me broke even. Nothing much I could do about it. Yeah. Okay, next. Yes. So Starbucks, coming down into a big demand zone here. Personally, I'll start looking for longs already. I do think that, actually maybe not, right? Why do I say that, right? It's important. So you can see that Starbucks, we are in a huge freaking range. In fact, maybe you can say that I think maybe it's wiser to draw, say, a trend line. Okay, nah, trend line doesn't look very nice also. Yeah, but essentially, even without the trend line or box, you can see that Starbucks, we are in a freaking range. Okay, and the thing about range, right? You need to know that only the extreme ends of a range is protected. So here, perhaps here is protected. You don't ever want to be trading mid-range. So that's in general my advice, right? So though I won't touch. Okay, to be fair, if you want to look for a quick bounce, I think this is the place to look for it. Okay, so if you want to go long here, I do think that go to the lower time frame, look for your entry. I think that's very possible. Next, XLP. I've been calling this since very long ago already, since maybe price was here. So it rarely came back down to entry. Personally, I'm still long bias. I see this as an opportunity to accumulate. But don't get me wrong, right? It can indeed slice through this zone. But if it does, then so be it, right? In every trade, there's a probability of winning, there's a probability of losing, which means you can lose, right? You can't be afraid of losing. Okay. So for XLP, let's take a look at some of the key favorable setups that we have. PM, yes, definitely very nice. Breakout, come back to demand. Same thing. Go down to lower time frame, see what you can find, and then just go for it, right? Next, CL, very similar setup to XLP. For me, I personally want to go for longs. Once it tap this EMA and then look to ride it back up essentially. Okay. Next. Next, KO. Same thing. Break order flow, break, oh sorry, no, break of structure, came back to demand. My take is go down to lower time frame and then scout, right? Next, XLF. Personally, I'm still bullish. Yes, it rejected off resistance, but there's an order flow breakout here. Personally like, if let's say this order flow breakout fails, right, I don't think it's gonna straight slice through. It's at least gonna do something like this, right? Let me just find my path. If it so there's a few ways, so it can just do something like this and go up, or it can maybe start chopping here and then go down, right? But if it starts chopping, then it's your cue to start getting up. Okay, but let's take a look at XLF, right? MS has been breaking higher and higher. If you want to long, look for a pullback. Next, Goldman. Same thing, very similar setup to Morgan Stanley. Look for pullback if you want to long. Okay, wait for pullback. Look for a reversal pattern. Then let's go for it. Affirm, same thing. You need to look for pullback. Next, Visa. Yes, to me, I'll look to long Visa on the break of this order flow breakout. Um, Actually, okay, don't get me wrong, right? You can take a look at this, right? So if you draw it properly, um, maybe somewhere like this. Okay, technically it haven't broke out, right? Yep, it technically haven't broke out. You can look to long order flow breakout on this break, but you have to bear in mind that Visa itself is not a really strong stock in the sense whereby once XLS slowly start pulling back a bit, the impact on Visa is gonna be relatively huge, right? Because there's this concept called leaders, laggard, and then basically moving with the index. If Visa is clearly a laggard in this case, so if let's say the XLF pull back slightly, Visa is gonna experience a more drastic pull because it's weaker. That's just as a matter of fact, right? So before you want to long Visa, you have to consider this. And for that, I will be removing Visa from my watch list. Next, Equinix. Still looking, still waiting for order flow breakout here. Personally, I want to go for long after it broke the order flow. Consolidation. Other than that, that's for XLF. Next, let's take a look at COPX, right? That's for copper. Calling last week, on Friday, I think it was coming down. I was calling for longs already, and then it reversed up. So, like I mentioned, those of you that missed out, I don't know what to say, right? But from a structural standpoint, copper should continue heading higher. Okay. Do I have COPX stock though? Maybe I don't. Yeah, I don't think so, right? I have go. Yep, I don't have COPX. Okay, next, KIE. KIE, I think for those of you have that followed this KIE trade, likely it would have ended in SL already, unfortunately, but that's just part of the game. KIE, we are still in the range, and it came back to demand. Personally, if you guys are still in the position, I recommend you guys can consider holding it, okay? Why? It's because we are in the demand, right? And any bounce will likely come from here, okay? Unless your structure is really as a trade, then yes, as a trade, you should have your stop loss and TP, respect it. But if this is like investment, then I do see merit in holding KIE. Okay, KIE stocks, I mean. Let's take a look at some of the KIE stocks. Let's see. Insurance name FAF. Um, just waiting for it to come down from some reversal pattern and then go up. Same thing for TRV, and then same thing for CB. So personally, I took a long on CB as well, which unfortunately ended in SL. So just to be fully transparent over here. Okay, next. Let's take a look at ITI. ITI. So earlier I mentioned that all the macro trends seems all to be pointing towards defense spending. So I do see long-term potential in the defense industry. ITA recently made an order flow breakout. Been calling it for like don't know donkey years as well. So for those of you that miss out, I don't know what you are doing, man. But okay, let's move on. So let's take a look at some of the ITA stocks. Very interesting. General GE Aerospace breakout similar pattern. If want to long, look for a pullback, maybe to this EMA, and then yep. Next, NOC personally it rallied. Okay, maybe I should just draw it out for you here as part of my good service. Here created a break of structure, pullback to demand, and then here created a shift on the lower time frame, right? If y'all can see. Right? If this is legit, this base is like, if this reversal pattern is legit, this low is likely gonna hold, and then the upside is kind of wherever you want it to be. Okay, this is a very good risk to reward trade, and a lot of patterns are, a lot of similarities are forming up in the different ITA stocks. So RTX, something very similar, forming a base, and then rally, and then LMT, right? So yeah, so I do see upside potential in defense stock. Yeah, that's about it. Maybe you can take a quick look at some of the key ones I want to address, right? Let's take a look at XSW, which I have been freaking calling for it for like not god no donkey years, man. I've been calling for it here, it tap TP here. Honestly, if you want to go long now, you're freaking chasing, so please don't, right? I've been calling for Microsoft. Look at this boy. It ran, right? For those of you missing out, I don't know what you guys are doing. Okay, let's see. Some of the sectors that is waiting to break out. Yes, KB look for this order flow breakout. XLB, same thing. Look for this order flow breakout. XRT, same thing. GDX, same thing. Not as clean, but yeah, you guys get my point. Yep. So that's it for this week's review. Hope you guys take away something special, and as usual, just drop a like, subscribe, repost, whatever. Thank you guys.